Hello, good evening and welcome, this time with the microphone turned on. That will always help. Anyway, welcome to Wednesday, which means eCommerce Wednesday. My original version was a little bit more dramatic and had a drum roll in it. But I had the mic off, so we missed all that. Anyway, that's one of the most important things I could ever tell you. Sorry, I've heard it before because I just said it. But you haven't, so let me say that a little bit more excitedly. This is probably the most important thing I could ever tell you about having an e-commerce store. It'll probably blow your mind, so I hope you're sitting down and that you're calm at the moment. And that's just, I'm still going up. So, right, so let's get straight down to it. Let me not tease you anymore. Let me just make the screen fit, because otherwise it's a bit hit and miss. There we go. I think the height's about right. No, okay, there we go. Whoops, and that'll do us. And here we go. So the most important thing I could ever tell you. So this is number 3 of our secret squirrels. I don't know why secret doesn't look right. Anyway, it doesn't. Because I've shown you this one, and now we're talking about this one, which is basically proactively seeking customers, but it's thinly disguised as the most important thing that I can ever tell you. So let's just start with the concept, I guess. So, basically, I'm not even I don't know if I'm going to fill them in. Maybe I'll fill them in. I hate that grey. Okay, so basically we have, potential customers. Okay, I won't centre it. Maybe I will. I need to make it bigger. I should have just copied one over, shouldn't I? I don't know why I didn't do that. Anyway, now I'm going to centre it. Okay, so we have potential customers. And if you have an e-commerce store, okay, and I'll make it look, oh God, help us. I wish I could have a different default colour. That would make my life so much easier. There we go. So make it look like an e-commerce store. So basically, in your e-commerce store, you'll have, multiple products. Okay, let's just do 3 like that. And I know it's not centered and everything, but anyway, let me just bring that down a bit, because I'm going to, just in case you forget, I'm going to write e-commerce store on the top. If it will let me. Okay, it's going to put it down there. But we know a song about that, so we can move it up to the top. There we go. And then we can center it, because we're just wild and wacky people, and we can make it bigger so you can even read it. Anyway, so you've got your e-commerce store, and these are products. I should have done that before I copied them, but I'll just do the one. And that's great. But if you think about it, the only thing that can ever possibly happen is that your potential customers realize that you're a place where they can buy products. And that's it. Now, you can be like Amazon, or try and be like Amazon, and they basically win on 2 reasons. Scale, because they basically sell everything under the sun, and if they don't do it, they have, sub-merchants who do it with reseller accounts and all that kind of stuff. And they probably, don't necessarily hold all their stock. They probably order their own stock in a little bit as they go. But, mass, they're a huge range, and they're very, what should we say, not really aggressive, but they're very aggressive on pricing, although they're not often the cheapest. Not often, strangely. But we think that they are. And that's where they're aggressive, I guess. But, that's how they win. And we can't really compete on mass. We could compete on price, but selling on price is a bad idea, a stupid idea. So let's not do that if we can help it. Better to do bundling and niching and just making it more important. So, but Amazon nonetheless, as I say, let's just have a little box for them. Just to give them a present here. Excuse me. So Amazon, they basically sell on mass, mass items, or mass range, so I should say, I guess, and price. and kind of service. I mean, the what it's called now, but yeah, the premium delivery thing is pretty amazing value, and they're very quick at delivering, and their returns are pretty damn good actually. So in terms of service, they're actually okay, but mainly they sell on on price and the fact that they do everything under the sun. Now, if I wanted to buy a piece of hi-fi, or if I wanted something for my dog, or if I wanted the very best in fashion, or if I wanted anything custom at all, I wouldn't go to Amazon. They wouldn't be my first choice. So that's really where people like us can win with our stores, because basically what we are is we're expert stores, okay, and personal service and customization. But the main thing is, the expert store is because we really know what we sell. We don't sell everything. Quite the opposite. We only sell a very small, select a range of stuff. But what we sell is spot on. So if we're a hi-fi dealer, or even a mobile phone dealer, or any technology or computer or anything, or fashion or dog care or anything, we're the experts in that, because we don't do everything. But basically, it's because we specialise that we are the expert. So when somebody wants something, that's not kind of off the shelf, peg off the shelf, then they would come to us, or they could come to us if they knew it existed. Okay, that's always an issue, if they knew it existed. But bear that in mind, because that's a very, very poignant phrase, which I slipped in there accidentally. Is there something like a star? I'll use a speech bubble. Don't give me a lot of room though, but anyway. If they knew we existed. Okay. So, but going back to the thing, and it's a thing we've discussed before, but it's so important, and I'm going to put it in a different way today. If we're a store, the only real way, the only thing they're going to associate with us is that they can buy stuff. Okay, which if they know what they want and they know what we do it and we're the best option for whatever reason, then it could be stock delivery, customer service, whatever. All they can ever know is that they buy stuff from us. So when we advertise, all we can really advertise is buy stuff. Okay, because that's the only conversation that we're having. And that's probably why most stores go down the rabbit hole by just saying, buy my stuff, discount, 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 buy my stuff, discount, discount, discount. Because that's really the only conversation that they can have. Because they're a store. And that's all generally that stores do. And that's the issue. So, we can, because this show's about, kind of outreach and reaching out to customers. So we can, absolutely, reach out to buyers. Okay, we can do that. Let's have a slide in there. There we go, that's a bit slow. So we can reach out to buyers. Okay, and we can do that by coupon stuff, by ad targeting on buyers, by being doing press releases, by being doing forum and group marketing, by having a social presence of some sort, connected with videos in terms of product tours and stuff like that. Because we don't need to hide the fact that we're selling it if we're doing a product tour. We're just saying inside the whatever product, and people come watch it. And then obviously at the end you say if you're ready to buy it, we actually sell it. So it's very simple, very straightforward. Nothing weird about that. So and we can advertise, particularly with banners on sites where these buyers hang out. Okay, so if we're selling stuff, for parents, we could do a banner on a mom sort of magazine site or something like that, or some sort of mummy bloggers kind of site. So we can advertise where the buyers go, where they hang out. I've got to put the hang out. There we are. There might be directories that do products. Certainly, we could get on any stockist lists if the manufacturers cater for that. But in particularly, Google Shopping feed. So we could certainly be on things like Google Shopping feed and price comparison sites. That was the other one I was missed with the coupons. But a different version of that. And it could even be that we are even sneaky. We could be sneaky. Do you want to be sneaky? Let's be sneaky. And we could also, I'll do it that way. Maybe that wasn't the best way of doing it. Anyway, hang on, I'll get to being sneaky in a minute. Hang on. Where's my thing? There it is. There we are. We could be a bit sneaky, and we could do. I forgot what it was now. We could do a kind of a review site thing, or we could. I forgot what the sneaky thing was now. Drat. So long to do the box. I forgot what it was. Anyway, I will come back to you in a minute. There's something sneaky that we could do, which I've forgotten. But it's just a way of being in a place where buyers would go, but they're not really talking to buyers, so we're kind of slipping in there. But it's not forums or groups, it was something else. No, I've forgotten. Anyway, so we could reach out to buyers in this way, and obviously if we've got our own email list, however we built that up, we can do that. And obviously let's not forget, because people do, which is a bit crazy, past buyers. So whoever people have bought from you, even if you've only got their postal address, they're past buyers. You should really, be following up with them. So this is reaching out to buyers. But if we're a shop, our basic conversation is buy stuff, and all our ads are going to basically say buy stuff. There are lots of reasons why they would buy from us, but the conversation is buy stuff. And even if we outreach to buyers in any of these ways, and these are all great ways of doing it, we're still basically saying buy our stuff. Okay, but there's a thing that happens here and before here, and the first thing is that before buyers comes researchers. Okay, or the research phrase. I can't even say that now. Research phase. There we go. Oh, what have I written there? Come on, fingers. Right, there we go. And when they're in the research phase, they don't know anything about the thing, and they're basically looking for Google. And then after that, when they know a bit more about it, then they're basically in verification phase, which does mean or can mean a price comparison or deal comparison. Okay, because they're a bit different, because they might want a better deal of a bundle rather than just price. But in particular, they have a number of choices at this stage. So which choice? Which brand are they going to get? Which model? Which size? What colour? So once they know about it and what they want, then it's a case of which one do they want? Okay, so that's another phase, and that might be done, in a different way. So whereas the research phrase might be starting from Google or something, Google will probably lead them to a place which does this, and this is basically going to be something between an expert site and a review site, and some sort of comparison site. But it might not just be price comparison. It might be a comparison of between models in terms of their features and all that kind of stuff. Now, these two things are not shops. It's unlikely that Google would ever list a shop when people are in research phase, other than if they're running adverts and if they think that people are actually wanting to buy it. But if they generally think that Google think that people are looking to know about the product, then they're never really going to put a shop there. So that's why being a shop limits us here. And secondly, when they're looking for an experts and reviews, again, historically, a shop isn't the place you'd go for reviews, because you don't think that they're independent, and most shops don't even bother to do it. And most shops don't bother to do, product tours either. Okay, which I'll call walkthroughs actually, but I mean product tours as well. So historically, most shops don't do any of these things. So now they're going to a different kind of site, which isn't a shop. Okay, that's the main thrust of my argument here. How do we, outreach? I probably need these boxes in a minute. I'll just put my real while I'm thinking. How do we, outreach to these customers? Before they're ready to buy. Okay, so it's not just that we're talking about content marketing, or being a review site, or being an expert site. Okay, if we want evergreen sales, and to really maximise on everything we can sell, to these people, then we need to remember the golden rule, which is basically, let me make that red, I won't forget this one. The golden rule is basically to sell to people, not by product. Okay, so what I mean by that is, if you sell by product, you've only got one choice, one chance. They either want the product or they don't, and there's nothing you can do about it. If they want a slightly different product, then you failed, because you're offering them a particular product. So, but if we sell to them as people, and we know that they have a range of needs, and all sorts of other things we can sell them, and we get their trust and attention for a bit longer, then we can actually offer them a choice of products, and ideally the right one for their needs, because we can actually ask them and actually work, find out what their needs are. Whereas if you're in a shop, you don't tend to ask people, do you really, is that really what you want? Or did you want something else? We might show alternatives, and people who also bought this, bought that, or ended up buying this, and all the kind of things that Amazon do. But that's not really expert advice. It's just statistics, and they may or may not actually fit that particular statistic at that second. So it's not an ideal way of doing it by the numbers. But if we sell to people and not by the product, then the conversation opens up, and that's really what we want to do here. Is to start more conversations. So the question is, how do we do that? What do all these things come under? And really, it's a community or a tribe. Now, traditionally, I guess, we've looked at them as forums and groups, but I don't think it has to be that. You're certainly welcome to do that if you want, but what we're really looking for is something a little bit more unique, than that, which isn't, also isn't a shop. Okay, we don't have to hide the fact that we're a shop, but maybe there's a reason why. Our shop is the expert and the best place to buy it. So I mean, I'm thinking of sites like Tom's Hardware. Their advice is very, very good, and if at the end of it their price is essentially the same and they've got stock and they're easy to get it, then there'd be no real hesitation to buy from them or through them. Maybe they're linking to somebody else who supplies it, but it doesn't matter. If they want to make an affiliate commission on that, that's absolutely great, because what they offer is very valuable, because it's very good advice and it seems to be impartial. And if they want to recommend a particular way of getting it, and they make an affiliate commission on that, I'd be more than happy with that, because what they do is free. They don't run it as a paid membership site. They give it away free. You can do whatever you like, but if they've got a recommendation to buy it, then, as I say, I wouldn't have a problem buying it through them. I'd like them to have the money, because they're offering a really good service. So, but their conversation is that they're very totally focused on not buying it, but on which is the best thing to buy. That's totally their what they do, and because of that, they get a lot of traffic. But I don't even know how much traffic they get. But let's sort of look how popular they are. I mean, I think most people know of it. So let's just see. So sorry, you can't see that, can you? But 62 million people go to Tom's Hardware. So they're obviously pretty good at it. Sorry, where is the figure? There it is. 62 million. Okay, and it's consistent, and it's largely US people, a little bit from India, they're always creeping up, a little bit from Australia, but basically that. And people know them. Actually, that's surprising. I thought more people would know them. So they do very well for search, probably because they're very current in the kind of news kind of things. They're doing a little bit of this stuff, smallest trickle of advertising. Overclock.net is linking into them. Fark is linking into them. Not sure why. And people are going off to Amazon to buy stuff some of the time. But also these other places, and YouTube, sort of more research. So they're most famous for brand. It said they did some traffic. Anyway, so we can't actually see the paid traffic. And they're very, strong presence on Reddit. Oh, they did display them. It wasn't up there then. Anyway, so skim links for some reason. They're advertising quite a lot on skim links. And they placing ads on ARS Technica and Slick Deals. Okay, so that's interesting. That's how they get all their stuff. But 62 million, I mean, they've built that up because they're very good at what they do. But they're not a shop, but they may sell some stuff direct, or they may link, or they may do affiliate, or whatever. Okay, but they're obviously, there are a very significant force in 62 million, readers, whatever. I call them readers. So that's the conversation that they're having, and you can see why that's important. So if you were a product manufacturer, then you'd probably want to talk to them to get them to cover your thing. how you would do a deal with them to get them to send to your shop. I have no idea. I don't think they would probably do that. But you never know. But that's the power of that conversation in where people are looking to decide what it is which they want to buy. Okay, they probably don't go to well, they may do, but they probably don't go to Tom's Hardware to find out if they know nothing about it. They've probably gone to Google and found some stuff first, and then as they get to know stuff and which are the significant brands and which are the significant models, then they go into a more detailed place like Tom's Hardware to get the real reviews and skinny on that kind of stuff. So how can we be more unique than that? So that's a question that's just sprung out of the top of my mind. I don't have an answer. I didn't come to the show with the answer to this. Obviously it's the question, how are we going to do it? So I'm just going to take a drink while I think what that could be, and you have a think too, and if you've got any ideas, put them below this live stream in the comments. That'd be great. But let me just have a drink handy. I don't know why I said handy, but anyway, it was handy, but I don't know what I meant by have a drink handy. Anyway, so how can we be more unique than that? So I think the short answer, in an ideal world, I mean, you may not want to do this, but the best thing would be to be entertaining. And the most entertaining way of doing, that, and they're basically going to be, reviews, tours, insights, comparisons, all the things people need to know in order to be able to make up their minds to buy, basically. What do they need to know to make up their minds of which to buy? Okay, so we're talking to people who know that they want, the thing. So we're not educating people necessarily. That's another angle. Okay, education would be another angle. That's quite a good one actually. But you could do lots of training on that kind of thing, like a mini Udemy, but for products. Okay, that's another thing that's just sprung into my head. That's another good little. What's the word I'm looking for? Route. But the thing that was, that's mainly sprung in my mind first was this, being entertaining about it, because the role of a shopkeeper really has always been about, character and the fact that they're an expert, but the fact that they're entertaining. I remember the guy who used to run my local record shop. He was a very entertaining guy. He was very knowledgeable, and he knew a lot about music. And he would take the time to talk to me about what music, might appeal to me. And then he would suggest stuff, and his recommendations were basically always really good. I mean, because he played them in the store as well. But he would take the time to basically, almost be a mini DJ, really. Having a conversation with me, what kind of things I liked, obviously you can base that on what I'm actually buying from him. But we start the conversation, and then he would, do the mini DJ thing and play me the tracks, of more stuff that I would like. Okay, and obviously the stuff that I like, he'd stock. He'd make sure that he had it. Okay, so that's always really, it's certainly in my mind, has been the role of the shopkeeper. To be the character, you enjoy going there. He's friendly, all this kind of stuff. He's knowledgeable, good customer service, and he gives you, an honest opinion. So although he's not an independent reviewer, what he says is true, and obviously he can prove it right there and then, because as I say, he's like a mini DJ. Spinning the tracks that I might well like. But the Amazon version of that is that every track has a play button. Well, that's great, and they have things like, people who bought this artist also bought that artist and things like that. But that's not really a conversation. That's just, that's just stats. And it's very impersonal, and we don't really want that. And I guess the whole of the AI revolution is about trying to repersonalize mass data for individual cases. I guess that's kind of one role that AI will have for us, artificial intelligence will have for us, to repersonalize mass data. But anyway, we're not here to talk about AI, but it was just an interesting offshoot there. So the shopkeeper role has always been to be a character and an expert, and basically to be entertaining. You enjoy going there. So I don't want to make it sound grandiose or anything. But basically, we are talking about a mini TV station. And that and that's not a grandiose thing these days. I mean, it just means that you have, you're making, I don't know, a minimum of one video a week. But anyway, you might do more than that, because these can be very short videos. But you host them rather than sticking them on YouTube and being the subject of wolves, and relying on people finding it. You make your job, if you like. A section of your store or another site, if you want to be your mini TV station. And you can do that in 1,000 ways. You can get some hot chick to present it. That always works well for me. Or in terms of a viewer. Or you can do it yourself, and you can do it on camera or off camera. You could even do it with static pictures. You take a static picture of the product, and you can just point arrows at it or zoom in it or whatever. You don't even have to have a live video feed. So you could just take a static picture off of the manufacturer's website and just talk through it. So however you want to do it, it's actually not hard at all to be a mini TV station. The only prerequisite is that you have to be able to talk. So if you can talk, you can basically have a TV station, because graphically, visually, they're not actually that demanding. And the only thing that makes it a station is that you've got more than one of them, and obviously you can index it more. And also you probably reuse these actually in the store. Like I told you 2 or 3, 4 weeks ago, how he has with Firestone. I'm sure if that's his right name, but anyway, does it? And he has a product tour video on every product he sells. Okay, he goes out of his way to make sure that he I'm going to say deals with people, but presents people all formats. So he'll do text article, he'll do video, and he'll do images as well. Because he wants to cover all bases. If they want to buy it, he wants to make sure that he can describe it to them as best as he can, because they're not in the store. The only way that they can experience the product is if we go to this kind of length. And again, if you look at Amazon, they don't have a video on every product they sell, because they sell too many. It's not possible. So again, that's where we can win, because we might only do a handful of products, but we have the video insights and the tours, and maybe we've got some 360 views. Again, they're very easy to do. The manufacturers may even have them. But it's just the fact that you've collated everything or curated everything in one place. They don't have to go to the manufacturer's website and trawl through and not find the thing that they need. You're being a curator of product information here, putting it all in one place. So that's it. But you can build a brand for your mini TV station, and it doesn't matter if it's associated with your store or not, but the main point of it is that you've got all this content in your mini TV station. So now when you run ads, you may probably still be running ads to get the low-hanging fruit buyers, the 3% who are ready to buy today. But you can add in or split test, driving people to the product TV station. Because they'll probably be happy to do that, because they don't, they're not being forced to buy as soon as they put their foot in the door, and they're getting really good content, and they're actually seeing what the thing is. Okay, you don't have to be a great reviewer, or they don't have to worry about you being impartial or not. You're just physically showing them, as if they were in a shop, what the product actually is. Okay, if you want to add in, opinion and entertainment and stories and whatever you want, then you can do all that. But the basic bit of it is you just have to be able to talk, and you just show them the product. That's as complicated as it needs to be. You don't need to be clever. You don't need to be funny. You don't need to be attractive, but it helps if you're all those three. But if you just have, if you just do that, even if you don't have those three things, then that's more than enough, because people are actually seeing, what the product is in the best possible way they can, without actually being, in the room with you. And there are lots of, not lots, but there's several e-tailers that I've come across who do, a weekly Friday live stream, where they will, do it live and go through a product and take product questions and all that kind of stuff. And they're building up a good fan base. And on each show, they were selling about 20% of the people who came would buy. Because they're coming to learn about the product, because ultimately they want to buy it. So if they like the presentation and it's answers all their questions, and the presenter's removed all their roadblocks because they've answered the questions, then they're ready to buy, and they just do it on the night. Because once you're doing all that kind of stuff, price comparison isn't in the equation. Okay, you're not going to be that far off the price of anybody. And people who are that interested and have spent that much time with you, and you're telling them everything they need, they're going to buy it from you. It's very few. As I say, the price conscious people are usually only about 5% of the audience. We all think it's everybody, and we're all really super worried that we must appease the discount penny crunchers. But they're only 5% of the thing. What everybody wants is they want value. And value is, starts and ends really with buying the right product and getting the most out of that product. And that's what this TV station, does. And if they're interested in the topic, like, if you're a cooking store, cooking equipment store, and they're into cooking, then just the fact that you're showing them the latest products, and how they're working, that's interesting for them. They'll want to do it. So I don't know if you've seen things like QVC, or if they're even in your country, but the thing called QVC, that it's just one of the many shopping channels. And again, 99% of the time, they're just doing product tours really. And walking you through the product, and they're not really selling. It's just that, and then at the end of the demonstration, which could actually be half an hour to an hour long, and they have guest presenters in, and they do stuff with the products and all that. Then they put the buy screen up, and they might have a special deal for a limited quantity, and you phone in. In this particular case, I don't know if they've changed it to be online these days, but in the old days you used to ring in and put your credit card and buy the thing. And obviously, if you spent an hour learning about the product, if it's a good fit for you, you know what you need to know about it. Anything that you're worried about, they'll have answered, because you can send in questions and stuff. And we're off, and that's why it's called the shopping channel, the QVC shopping channel, because you're there to shop, but you're shopping. Intelligently, you're getting exactly what you need, because they're showing it to you in exactly that way. Now, that's something that the likes of Amazon and whoever are never going to be able to do, because it can't really be done on a mass scale like this. So it relies on actually niching in, to start with, and we are the best people to niche in, because we are the experts in our niche, and we only stock a limited range of products that are the best. We don't need to do every product in the world, because that's not the point. The point is to do the best product in the world that fits our audience. And our job as experts is to make sure that is a fit. And that amount of care and attention is something, as I say, that the likes of Amazon will never ever do, or be able to do, or probably even want to do. They're very much off the peg. Each other. The people who go there have to know that they want it. They have to pretty much be sure which one they want, or be able to decide just from spec or possibly reviews. But generally, they know what they want. They don't need any education, and they've got no special needs or applications. It's just a default purchase, really. It's very much commodity based. Anything specialist or customized or exclusive or anything like that, you just don't go to Amazon to do. Okay, they come to us. Anyway, so that's the big idea. It's the shopping channel, and it's as complicated technically as setting up a WordPress blog. I mean, you can even do it in Bootstrap and HTML if you want, but WordPress is WYSIWYG basically. So it's very easy to make one of these in WordPress. And the art of this is going to be in indexing and featuring and making it searchable on what people are actually need to find. And again, that's where your knowledge as an expert in the niche is going to help you, because you know what the questions that people have, and you know what they're looking for and how to group them and what they're searching it for and what's important to them, and all that stuff. And there you go. So that's it. So as I say, a bit of a head slap, but it is very much, particularly these days, it is very much the art of being a store. Okay, because being a store, the only conversation you can really have is buy my stuff. But the bigger question is, which stuff? And we can either leave that to other people to do for us, and they'll send it to whoever they've got the affiliate link for, which may not be us. And again, that's another way we can reach out. We can get these reviewers and bloggers and influencers, we can pay them a commission to refer us traffic. So that's another way of reaching out through a third party. Okay, I might put that in because it's quite important. Let me put that in because it is quite important. So let me just put it in. Reaching out via a third party. So influencer, reviewer, blogger, and in many ways, we already mentioned it, but press and media are the traditional way of doing that. We don't tend to have to pay them, but we have to form some kind of relationship with them in order to be featured. So that's another way. So I've given you actually 3 ways that we can do this, today. So it is about being more than a store. It's out of the box thinking. It's going the extra mile. Okay, it's definitely going the extra mile. But if you want to sell more stuff, what do you think is the right way to do it? I suggest it's this. Okay, so that's it. I'll see you tomorrow, or I'll see you next Wednesday for the next e-commerce edition. I'll see you then. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.